There's a new program from the foundation SoldierStrong, which is dedicated to doing everything it can to help the mental health of our nation's heroes. StrongMind is what it's called. It uses revolutionary virtual reality equipment to slowly introduce soldiers back to the battlefield, mimicking memory to help treat PTSD. It's really a revolutionary idea. My next guest is a veteran who credits this work with virtual reality for saving his life. Chris Merkle joined the Marine Corps when he was 17. He served as an infantryman for 10 years on active duty. He says after multiple deployments, he came home proud of his service, but angry. He eventually reached out for mental health at the VA, and he joins me now with his story. Chris, great to have you with us, and thank you for your service to our country. You say you came back angry. What was that about?
Just from a life of living to protect and do everything else, and using that aggression to do our job. But that aggression and that instant being able to do our job doesn't do very well when you come home. So it's that it doesn't really fit with being in school and being around other people and overreacting to things that shouldn't really bother me.
Right, and that transition is so hard after all of that training that you went through. Talk to me a little bit about this virtual reality therapy, how you found it, and isn't it scary to go back to the scary place that has lived in you in a hard way?
Yeah, Martha, I mean, that's exactly on point. It is scary to address our worst fears. But that's the biggest thing with PTS and with our veteran or any community is that stigma of mental health. That's the initial block. But once we get there, we do say, I do have a problem, and saying I have PTSD or I have anger. How do I deal with it? It's hard to just do psychotherapy and say, this is my worst day. Can we talk about it? So virtual reality gives you the opportunity to be immersed in that world, which sounds horrible. But being in that first person in the moment, it actually helps when you walk through your narrative. It's so much smoother and so much more.
What were you able to tap into that you weren't able to do before this program?
So one of the biggest things with mental health is resistance. So for stigma, trying to get into mental health, and once you start seeking help, resistance. So I was talking about traffic, I was talking about family, everything else that was bothering me on the surface, not getting to the point. So I was actually recommended to try virtual reality. When you're in the virtual reality field, you're in that moment, so you're reliving it. So all of your senses, it pulls back that memory, and it works on everything that was bothering you, what you felt, what you saw. And you don't just say, this is happening 10 years ago, I was driving and we were starting getting hit. It's, I'm feeling this, I'm getting contacted, I'm doing this. And you're saying everything in first person, and memory is right there. And so you're really restructuring that part of your brain that's like saying, this is something scary, this is how you need to react. So it kind of reduces that trigger. And saying it over and over, the narrative style, the very first time I did it, they're like, walk me through what happened from the beginning of the story to the end. So I walked through a really bad day in Iraq, in Nasiriyah, and it was a really long day, and I saw a lot of different things, and we did a lot of different things, but no more or less than any other veteran that's down there. But after I got done a couple times, I took the virtual headset off, and I apologized to the clinician, like, I'm sorry, I can only do that a couple times. He's like, you just talked through something you've avoided and never talked about for 10 years. Wow. You went through it 9 times. And so it was so powerful for me to feel that, like, I survived that. I was able to talk about it. I feel a little bit better, and each time a little weight came off literally my shoulders, and I was able to face my family, my friends, and be a little bit more productive in society. That's my long-term goal. It's hopefully what we want for everybody else's families as well.
It's very brave of you.